I'm not talking about the habits in the beginning. I'm talking about the mind in the beginning. Because once you know the nature of your mind, then managing a habit should be very easy for you. You see, the psychological experts all across the globe, what they are saying, you can just read it, please.
Leading behavioral research have told us that much as 77% of everything we think is negative, counterproducing and work against us. On an average day, the average person runs about 60,000 thoughts thought his mind a lot
Through his
most
mind.
of,
Yeah.
which are random and easier.
Yeah. Every day, every average day. So many thoughts are going through our head. Yeah. Yeah, please read it further. So I was just talking about the thoughts, one phone call came to you. Isn't it? We find there are 60,000 thoughts going on in our head every day. No? Okay? The 95% of those thoughts are uh, the same thoughts what you thought the previous day. Hmm? They say 75% of those unnecessary thoughts are actually they're illness inducing, they are saying. And they're self induced. They lead to illness. So these are actually what we call as negative thoughts. So especially in the modern times, due to the media explosion, we are constantly in touch with gadgets, moment after moment. We are receiving WhatsApp messages, Twitter messages, Facebook messages continuously. Our head is clouded with such kinds of thinking. So therefore, you see, your mind can be your friend. It's possible, provided mind is your servant. Not that mind makes you like this. So is mind your servant or you mind's servant? Say, for example, when you have an examination paper tomorrow to be done, you just peep out of the window and you see your friends playing cricket. Your mind says, Chalo, I am also going to play now. Of course, they don't have examination, but you have exam. But if you get allured by the games, that means you have become slave of your mind. Is that clear? No. Similarly, there are so many tempting things around you in the hostel. Some boy is drinking and tells you, hey, I'm your friend, I'm drinking, give me company. So you also take a bottle of liquor and drink. That means you become slave of your mind. So you can be servant of your mind, or you can make mind your servant. Like you sit in a Uber or Ola car, you tell him, take me to a temple, and the car driver takes you to a liquor shop. That means he is not in your control. Similarly, ask yourself, is your mind cooperating with you and doing the right things in life, or is your mind doing some nonsense which you don't want and then it makes you suffer? If mind makes you suffer, that means mind has become master. Just like here we have shown, a knife can be used by a surgeon for doing an operation and saving the life of a patient. Or the same knife can be used by a thief to strangle somebody and kill him. Isn't it? So knife is the same thing. Similarly, mind also. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandhamokshayo. Like that the Vedas say. If you take the key of a room, you open it like this, then the room door opens. Or you do like this, the room gets locked. So mind can lock you up or mind can release you depending on how you deal with your mind. To put it precisely, I can tell you, if you learn the art of managing your mind, then you will conquer the whole world practically. That you're going to learn now in the next few slides. So when mind is uncontrolled, these are the problems students are suffering nowadays. You see, lack of confidence, inferiority complex, depression, stress, and hypertension, deadly diseases, and this leads to many other things like suicides. It leads to murder, and so many things. So here is a mechanism given in our Upanishads. You see, this is a chariot. of our body. And you see this white coat person, that is the real you, which is the soul. And the driver of this chariot is the intelligence. And the ropes of the chariot is the mind. And the horses are 5 senses. That means if you make your driver strong, intelligence strong, then he can catch the ropes and pull it. He can control the mind. And if the mind is controlled, then the horses can be controlled, senses can be controlled. Senses won't go in the wrong direction. And in this way, the chariot will go properly. Otherwise, if we don't control the mind and senses, which is ropes and the horses, using intelligence, then it is like this. See here, the driver is a very thin fellow. He's lost his control. Horses are all rushing in all different directions. Do you agree in the modern day situation of the students is quite somewhat like this? You know, for example, the eyes are watching a movie poster and says, "Oh, I want to go to the movie, no matter what. I have to go at any cost. Whether examination is tomorrow or day after, I don't care. I want to watch the movie." So your eyes have dragged you to the movie. Similarly, you hear the discotheque with your ears, and then it is 120 decibel. It is disturbing a biological rhythm. Still, people want to go beyond the level of what is reasonable sound for the ears. Same way, there are many items. So one day you ate a samosa, it was very nice. You ended up eating 2 dozen samosas. So you will see that our senses actually do things which are harmful for us. And that is what is shown by this picture. So how many of you understood the analogy of chariot and the previous one? This is a very important analogy. See, this is the real you, the Atma, the soul, and you have intelligence, mind, and senses. I have given one more example to illustrate this point. Yeah. Like you see here, your intelligence is like a CPU in a computer. And your mind is like a hard disk where you store all the softwares. And your senses are eyes, nose, tongue, ears, and seen called as jnanendriyas. See, the jnanendriyas gather information and they put it in the mind. Just like look at these 5 fingers. Shrotram chakshusparshanam sarasanam granam adhishtaya manaschayam vishayan upasevate. It says, this is like the mind. And all the 5 senses gather information and give it to the mind. Just like you see something in the road, it captures and gives to the mind. You hear something, it gives to the mind. Smell something, gives to the mind. Shabda, sparsha, rasa, rupa, gandha. 5 things. So ultimately, all of them supply things to the mind. Mind is like a storehouse. It stores. What it stores? It stores thoughts, unfulfilled desires, and previous experiences and all. And the mind consults the intelligence, which is like the CPU in a computer, I told you. Can I do this? I want to enjoy this. Mind goes by pleasure. Intelligence goes by reason. Mind goes by instinct. Intelligence goes by thinking. Mind goes by what can I immediately get? Enjoyment. But intelligence goes by thinking what will be my long-term benefit. Say if I show all of you a chocolate in one hand and a 500 rupee in another hand, which one will you take? You can pick up one out of the two. Will you take a chocolate or a 500 rupee note? How many will pick up chocolate? Yes? Only one. Okay. How many will take 500 rupee note? Okay. And what is the reason for that? Yeah, in 500 rupees you can buy 500 chocolates. But here you get only one. Let us ask our friend why he chose chocolate. We will ask him. Give the mic to him. He has his reason, I believe.
Actually, I think that it is 5 rupees, not 500.
Achha, 5 rupees is that?
Yeah, I
Oh,
had
not
5
5
rupees.
It's 500 rupees.
I
Okay.
choose 500 only.
Yeah. So he also agreed with 500. So when you go by reason, intelligence goes by reason. Mind goes by pleasure, immediate pleasure. Like most of the things you will see, most of the habits we all do, most of the students go by pleasure. They don't go by reason. They don't see the consequences. So now, I have given another example here. Here is a computer operator. He is like the soul, Atma. And he is typing here. If you see, the computer is like our material body. Computer is a bodily machine. And the Atma is the operator of the machine. See, this analogy It's a little difficult analogy. Let us see how you understand it. See, he's taken a microprocessing device and he is typing here. If you see, CPU is the intelligence, hard disk is the mind, and there are servo motors. See, our hands and legs are like servo motors. Our mind is like a microprocessor, and you, the Atma, is the operator of this microprocessor. So in the mind, if you write pure things, hands and legs will do pure things. In the mind, if you write an impure program, then hands and legs will do impure program. As simple as that. It's not very difficult to understand. See, you have 5 senses. The servo motors are going to function based on the instruction they get from the mind. Like, for example, you can walk with your leg to your temple, you can walk with your leg to your liquor shop. I told you the example, isn't it? Similarly, what you eat, what you see, what you hear, it's all up to you, what you choose to do. See, another example is given here. The father is like the intelligence, mother is like the mind, and the children are like senses. Like, these are all good children now, obedient children. So they're obedient to the mother, mother is obedient to the husband. It's a very happy family. But imagine if the children are very naughty, they pull each other's hair, and they take away each other's toy, they're beating and slapping, and they're demanding, mother, get me cocoa chocolate or whatever, and the mother is shouting at the husband, then it's an unhappy family. That means intelligence, mind, and senses. They are all in the same order. If intelligence is strong, then the mind and senses are under the control of the intelligence. Is that clear? I'll tell you a small example. So I want to cross the road and go to the college. Mind is saying, already bell has rung. Rush now. But the intelligence says, wait a minute, buses and cars are going very fast. Let the traffic be proper and then I will cross. So intelligence goes by reason. Mind goes by instant things. If the mind says, no, I just close my eyes and I will rush across the road, mind says. But intelligence says, you will never reach the other side. There may be an accident. So you will see that our mind always goes by immediate, emergency, pleasure, instinct. And that is where the bad habits come. Most of the bad habits we pick up because of the mind, not because of intelligence. Intelligence actually can subdue the mind. So, mind, I told you, is a storehouse of thoughts, unfulfilled desires, and previous experiences. Like here, these are the thoughts. See, we all have positive thoughts in our mind, like, joy, love, hope, mercy, kindness, enthusiasm, and all that. And there are also negative thoughts like anger and stress and envy and, revenge and laziness. And these are all bad thoughts. Then the necessary thoughts, every day related to your studies, your work, your career, job, and all that. Then there are wasteful thoughts, thinking of the past and thinking of the future. You see, worrying about the past, worry may bury you, it is said. Imagine, for example, you got little poor marks in the previous semester. You keep thinking about it. That spoils your current performance also, isn't it? Similarly, worry about the future also. So which of the thoughts we should retain? Which of the thoughts we should give up? Tell me. Which one you should retain? Which one you should give up? Out of these 4. Which one you should keep? Which one you should give up? Yeah, where is the mic? Anybody would like to answer? Yeah. Which one would you like to keep out of these 4? Should we keep all the 4 thoughts? All 4 are good? All 4 are good? Or which one we should keep? Anybody raise the hand, mic will come to you. Yeah? Which one we should keep?
I think we have to choose all 4, sir.
All 4?
Sir.
All 4 are good? You all agree all 4 are good, or something we should keep, something we should give up? Yeah? Like the negative thoughts like anger and egoism and laziness and revenge, are they helpful? Are they helpful? No, these negative thoughts actually make you degrade. You suffer a lot with this. You have to give up the negative thoughts. Similarly, the wasteful thoughts also should be given up. The negative and wasteful you should give up, and the positive and necessary we should keep. We will see how we do that. And also the mind has unfulfilled desires, many desires and dreams. Many times you don't even do your work properly because you're dreaming all the time. See, is dreaming good or bad? Yes, anybody? Is dreaming good or bad? Actually, goal setting means dreaming with a deadline. If you dream without a deadline, then that's called as daydreaming. You don't achieve anything. You dream with a deadline. But the mind goes on a rut, thinking of so many desires. So, and also previous experiences. Where did you get those things from? The kind of novels you read, movies you watch, music you sing, the friendship you keep. If you took good things, good will come out. If you took bad things, bad will come out. It's called GIGO principle. Good in, good out, garbage in, garbage out. So I showed you about the mind till now. So in your mind, uh, actually the Atma, Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Atma is originally pure. Everyone is divine. Everyone sitting here has nothing bad. Everything is pure about you. But Atma has become covered over by acquired qualities. What you see here are bad qualities. Please read some of those bad qualities. Anybody who has the mic with you? Where's the mic? Yeah, please read some of those qualities given there. Simple ones, and then serious ones and grave ones. Yeah.
Simple ones consist of postponing and mood off. Serious ones are easily irritated, inability to work with others, and grave bad qualities are bullying friends, bad mouthing, and beating others.
Correct. Huh? So these are some of the habits you find in student days with some of the students. So these are acquired bad qualities. Like rainwater is pure, but when the rainwater touches the ground, it becomes muddy. Like that, when we come here in this world, we pick up many bad qualities. So today, the session is focused on what are the bad habits and how do we get rid of them. That's going to be the main theme now. So why should we have healthy habits? You see, the Westerners have many good things like better communication skills and they're very good managers and interpersonal skills and they have got Ivy League universities and all that. But still, many Western industries come to India to recruit Indians. Do you know why? So why are Indians preferred by many of the MNCs? The reasons are given here. Indians are hardworking, they are sincere, they are cultured, they are mannered, they are respectful, they have family culture, they are accountable, they are humble and responsible. So Indians are many things, but there is one very important thing. Why Indian youths are chosen for the MNCs. You will see that. You see, the main basis of an average Indian youth's life is because of good habits. Like you see here, these habits are deep rooted in our mind. This fellow is actually a watermelon, the watermelon seller. Once he was requested to play the role of a goalie. He was standing at the goalie. But he had a habit of catching the watermelon and throwing it in the lorry. So here also he got the ball and threw it inside the goalpost. So similarly, you will see many of us have cultivated a habit for many years. It becomes a second nature for us. So we will show you some of this. See, habits mean settled or regular tendency, or a practice that is hard to give up. See the word habit. If you remove H, it remains. Habit remains. If you remove A, bit remains. If you remove B, it remains. So habits don't leave us very easily once you practice them, once you got used to them. So, like you see, as far as the rat is concerned, he's fond of eating some eatable, but then he's caught by the trap and he dies. Similarly, a fish is attracted to the meaty bait and he eats and he is dead. But these poor creatures, for them it is food. For the sake of food, they struggle here and there and they often are caught and they die. But human being, he will not die without a cigarette. He will not die without liquor. He will not die without drugs. But still he takes these things and he suffers. You can see. See, for them, food is necessary for the survival. For us, these dirty things are not necessary for survival. Will anybody die without a cigarette? Will somebody die without liquor? But you can see human beings are taking to such substances which are detrimental. Yeah. See, the company bosses who recruit you all in jobs, these are the questions they get. Hey, this fellow has no control over his eating. He has obesity and he is very lazy. How he can work in our job? That's what they think. Or never comes for work fresh. He is always drinking. Or every 15 minutes, this fellow needs a cigarette break. He's always sickly, taking medicines. So therefore they reject. He gets into unnecessary affairs with women in the office. So, or he has broken marriage and he is inattentive in work. So these are all things which bosses observe in the employees, and that's why they fire them from the job. See, here is a spoiled brat. He cannot work with anybody. He quarrels with everybody. Huh? There's so many psychological issues. Sitting in the office, he is always, moody, staring at the sky, and he doesn't do much work. Then bosses fire him out of the job. So you can see all these different habits you saw, where they started from the thought. It is said, sow a thought, you reap an action. And then action can form a habit. Habit can form character. Character can yield a destiny for you. So therefore, everything starts from your thought. So what are the bad habits? In summary, these are the 4 bad habits. All these are chased by living beings for pleasure. Gimme, we call it gambling, intoxication, meat eating, and illicit sex. So gambling means putting little money and trying to make big money, and you lose all the money. And intoxication means smoking, drinking, drugs, all those things. And meat eating, what is the problem with meat eating? You see, when you kill the animal is afraid. It goes for a flight. It tries to run away. But when the knife almost is about to touch its neck, the animal shows his teeth, becomes angry, violent. So the animal shows fight or flight response when you try to kill an animal. And a huge quantity of adrenaline secretes in his body. So when you eat that meat, you also become a product of violence and fear. So you become violent and you become fearful also. Fearful means insecure. It's tamoguna, we call it. And violent means rajoguna. So you can't have a calm, cool, creative mind. And that is why that is also included here. And then illicit sex means sex before marriage and sex outside marriage. That's called as illicit sex. So these 4 are the bad habits. For each of it, you see, one is explained here. See Thomas Carlyle, what he says. The enduring test of human wisdom has always been the ability to effectively control the sexual impulse. Now, what is the problem with this? I saw a boy in my college days. In the first year, he was a topper. Second year, he got into affair with a girl. Then second year, third year, fourth year, he failed in many, many papers. And the girl went abroad to a foreign university. And this boy was stuck for 7 years and he got an NFT. You know NFT? Not fit for technical education. So you will see, if you get into this kind of affairs in college days, your academics will be ruined. And also, meat eating, I told you. One of the great writers said, do not make your stomach a home for the dead carcass of animals, he said. And also it involves merciless butchering of innocent creatures. And also, this is intoxication. See, when a person drinks, he loses control. He thinks he is flying in the sky. If somebody gives a small hit, he will fall down. He has no strength. And and each of these habits have a bad counterpart. You will see, if you put tobacco in the mouth, you will get ulcers. If you put liquor in the stomach, you will get liver cirrhosis. If you smoke cigarette, you get lung cancer. You have illicit sex with women, you get AIDS and other diseases. So these are all the bad habits. So these are the 4. I am giving you summary here, which I told you just now. If you want your body, mind, and soul to be healthy and happy always, these 4 are said in the scriptures as adharmic activities also. Dyutam panam striyasona yatra adharmaschatruvida. One should rise above this. And what are the effects of bad habits? Many things. A lot of money is lost. You lose your good health. Socially, you lose friendships. Or you have a car accident. And crimes increase. Many problems, you see. So therefore, the bosses and companies are thinking whom to recruit in their company. So when they are recruiting people, they see these bad habits are one of the reasons for them to fire the person from the job. So how do we give up these bad habits in case we are picked up? We have to change our conditioning in our minds. See, this I already told you. These are the things from where we capture the habits. See, these are the three things said here. Starve the bad habits. This is the first thing you have to do. Any of you feel that you want to make a change in your life, any habit you want to give up, like you have a habit of postponing, you don't study in the beginning of the year, you always study at the end, and then you get tension in the examination. So, how do you change the habit in the next semester? So the first thing he says, start the bad habit. Right from the beginning, you have to start studying, make a plan. How will you do that? I'll tell you. Start the bad habit, supplement with good habits, and stay away from tempting environment. Like if a boy is smoking, he wants to give up. First, he has to keep away from places where people are smoking. He has to keep away from friends who induce him to smoke. He has to go for a good association who will inspire him to not indulge. Correct, no? Three things are said. Start bad habits, supplement with substitute good habits, and stay away. Okay, how do we say no? Three things you need to change. Self-change means three things. Change your attitude, behavior, and thinking. See, this is put very precisely in the next three slides you will see. If you change these three things in your life, you can literally master anything in life. See, for changing your attitude, only one thing you have to change in life. For changing your thinking, only two things you have to change in life. For changing behavior, you have to change three things. Now I will tell you what are those 1, 2, and 3 things I will tell you now. So this you can note at the end of the talk, I will ask you again, okay? If you have to change your attitude, what you have to do? Only one thing, accept responsibility. Don't blame others. Accept responsibility. That's the only thing you have to do. Then you can modify your attitude. For example, accept what? Accept the habits that I have picked up these bad habits. You can't blame your friends because in this world, anybody may, like in America, there's a true story. One very, very big multi-billionaire, he died due to drinking too much. He had two sons. The first son, he also became a drunkard and he also died like his father. But the second son became a very big high court magistrate, in a very big position in society. So the staff reporters asked the first son, why you became like this? He said, my father spoiled me, he said. Because he was a drunkard, I also drank, he said. They asked the second son, how did you become so responsible man in society? He said that, from my father I learned what not to do. He drank and ruined his career. I decided not to do that, he said. So therefore, you take responsibility for your life. Then that's how you change your attitude. For the habits you pick up, for carelessly indulging in bad habits, and picking up wrong company of people who do such things. So we have to take responsibility in our life. That's the correct attitude. For example, yesterday you wasted a couple of hours talking to your friend. Now today you can say that, that fellow ruined my time yesterday. That means you are blaming him. Instead you can say, I wasted my 2 hours with him. I could have spoken 10 minutes and gone away. So you take responsibility. Okay, that's the only one thing you have to do for changing attitude. For changing your thinking, two things you have to do. First thing is, go at a point outside your body and look at yourself, what type of person you are. How many of you have observed yourself and know what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Any of you have observed it? You can raise your hand. You have made an observation of yourself. What are your strengths? What are your shortcomings? Any of you observed it? If you observe, that is where your thinking has started. Are you a thinking leader or you are an instinctive leader? Instinctive leader means, for example, I am walking on the road. If there is a hole, I don't think. I just fall inside and then I think, oh, I fell in now. So there should be vision first, action next. It's clear? Now, first I should see first and then I should act. Like we say, look before you leap. Think before you act. See before you walk. That is thinking leader. So how do you think? This is the first step in thinking is look at you. In Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Lord Krishna, 2.56 to 2.72, he's talking about such a leader who is actually doing self-awareness. If people become angry on you, how do you respond? If somebody is affectionate to you, how do you respond? So, if you all think about yourself, then you will become a great leader. You'll become a thinking leader. So, choice based on values, not feelings, which means, say, for example, one of you has obesity. You know obesity? a very fat body. Now you want to become thin now. You want to look very slim, thin and very healthy. So how will you reduce obesity? Tell me, for example, what you will do. Yeah? 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 Workouts, he's saying. Okay, what else you will do? You'll go for jogging. A diet you can limit. Go to your dietitian. You can go for it. Yeah? Eating? Yeah. Go to your gym. You can do some exercise. Go for a walk. Eat vegetarian food. Eat light. So you can become slim. But many people make plans. It's not that they don't make plans, but do they execute it? And also don't eat junk food. Correct, no? They will again eat junk food and they will not go to gym. They will not go for a jogging in the morning. So you will see that's why you see many times they say that, oh, it's a cloudy day today. Maybe it will rain. I won't go now. Will you go tomorrow? They will say, maybe after a week. And then they will say, whenever I start, I'll continue. They say, when will you start? That I don't know. They will say, for 365 days in a year, you can give 365 reasons why you will not go. That means those people choose feelings. And they make choice based on their feeling, not based on value. Value means you think and make a plan and stick to the plan. You understand, no? So that's what he's saying, self-awareness. If you want to give up a bad habit, for example, will your father be happy seeing you smoking or drinking? But if you have come to the college and picked up the habit, then how do you give up? How do you give up that habit? You make a plan and stick to it. That's what is called self-awareness. See, he's asking, how this habit came to me? How can I give up this habit? So that is one thing. And the second thing is, think always positively. Here this fellow is saying, I had a habit of gossiping. You know what is gossiping? Useless talks. I will never waste my time henceforth. See, some people are called chatterbox. Chatterbox, they talk too much unnecessarily with their friends, waste their time. So this fellow is saying, now, tomorrow onwards, I will not waste my time. But your negative thinking means to say that, oh, if I go to the party, I'll be sucked into my friend's circle and they will gossip and gossip and gossip and I can't escape. That means he is not very confident about his approach in picking up a new good habit. So these are two things you have to modify for changing your thinking. Look at yourself, identify the bad habits to be modified and think positively and stick to the plan. So I told you about attitude, I told you about thinking. Third one is behavior. Behavior is very simple. Look at the three pictures and tell me what will fill up these boxes. Who can say? What is the first picture? There are 3 D's which will fill up these boxes. Can you guess what is the first one? Can you guess? If you see the picture, what is the fellow saying? Discriminate between right and wrong. What is right? Discriminate between right and wrong. How many of you know what are good habits, what are bad habits? You are sure? You are aware of it? Because many people don't even know. But eventually, therefore we were telling you today. So what is right behavior, wrong behavior, right habit, wrong habit? Second one is, say no to those which are bad and choose the right ones. The third one is make a discipline practice. What is discipline? Discipline means make a plan and stick to it for 21 days at least. After that, it will become a second nature for you. Like some of you sleep very late. Anybody here sleeps by 3 o'clock here? Anybody? Anybody sleeps by 2 o'clock? Or 1 o'clock? Yeah, 1 you sleep. Okay. Anybody sleeps by 12? By 11? How many of you sleep? Oh, good number. That's very good. Very good. Anybody sleeps by 10 o'clock? Oh, very good. That's a very good habit. Top-notch CEOs of the whole world sleep at 10 o'clock. You know that? 10 to 4, 10 to 2 is a very important sleep time. Doctors have said that 10 to 2 is the time when a lot of chemicals secrete in the body. In case you are sleeping at 1 o'clock, you want to prepone your sleep. How do you change it? So that's what is said here. Know that we have to sleep by 10. That's a good habit. And then choose to sleep at 10 and then discipline yourself. And how do you bring about the new habit? Like, set a milestone. If you want to sleep at 10, go from 1 o'clock to 12:30 first month, then second month 12, third month 11:30, like that, make a plan. It's called milestone. And also go to experts who are already having many good habits. Role models, associate with them. Also associate with those who are cultivating good habits. Correct? Now, friends. See, the last one is friends, middle one is role models, and the first one is milestone. Like a big watermelon you can't eat, but you can cut and eat in pieces. Correct? No? Yeah. See, Aristotle says good habits formed at youth, they make the difference, he says. Especially in youth, whatever you cultivate goes for your whole life. He says that. So now I am coming to the last part now, which is 5D formula for escaping any bad habit. The first, desire and discipline. Okay, I will show you in the next slides. All the 5Ds I will show you now. Yeah. First thing is, the desire to lead a good life comes from good association. Like I heard a story of two parrots, they were sold in the market. They were two brothers. One was sold to a king, one was sold to a butcher. Later on, one sadhu was passing on the road. He saw the parrot in butcher's shop. The parrot was shouting, catch him, beat him, cut him, kill him, like that he was saying. And the sadhu was surprised how this parrot is speaking harsh words. Then he went to the king's palace. There the parrot spoke very sweet words. Sir, please take your seat. The king has gone for a stroll. He'll be back very soon. Would you like to drink some water? Like that the parrot was speaking. So the sadhu was amazed. How these two are brothers and they behave differently. So the bird in the king's palace said, Gauvashanena vakyam shrunoti aham charajan vachanam muninam nastyasta dosho nachamad guno va samsargaja dosha guna bhavanti. You know what he said? You see, we two are brothers only, but he is daily hearing the words of a butcher. Catch him, kill him, cut him. But I am hearing the words of saintly people coming to the palace of the king. Therefore, I am like this and he is like that. It's all due to our association, he said. So that's the first one called association. You should certainly have a circle of people with pure habits who lead a clean life. When I was studying in my college days, I observed in our class good amount of people go for drinking, smoking. And there are also good amount of boys coming from good families, raised with good habits. So birds of the same feather flock together. You heard that? So if you have good association, then good habits become very natural for you. You don't have to endeavor much. Because if you have a good friend, like one friend comes and gives you a cigarette and says, hey, you take one, I'll take one, come, let's smoke. But another good friend will say, hey, don't touch these things. We have not come here to ruin our health. Your fathers have sent you money, not for wasting the wealth and ruining your health. So you need good association. And second is discrimination. Discrimination was Viveka Buddhi. What is Viveka Buddhi? What is hitakarak, hanikarak? What is beneficial? What is harmful? What will uplift me? What will degrade me? From these books like Bhagavad Gita, Bible, Quran. Actually, these scriptures, even Chanakya Niti, Mahabharata, Ramayana, all these things give us clues on, what to choose in life, what is good for us. Discrimination comes by intelligence. Strengthen your intelligence by studying Gita. And determination is the third D, by chanting. Like we have this bead bag, we chant in the bead bag, beads, Japamala. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So one day I was sitting in the airport, I went to the prayer room and I was amazed. Already there was one Christian sitting, next to him a Muslim was sitting, and then I also sat next to him. And I was chanting in my beads Hare Krishna, and Muslim was doing namaz, and he was also chanting on a glass rosary, and Christian, he was also chanting Hail Mary, which means every religious people, they all are chanting, because chanting makes you internally very powerful and strong. It makes you tough and like Mount Everest, because the chanting gives you patience, it gives you tolerance, it gives you humility, it makes you respectful to other living beings. It makes you think before you act. It makes you speak wisely. It saves you from all bad habits. So that is chanting and meditation. Every religion prescribes it. And that will help you to get determination. Dridata. Yeah. Therefore, in every religion you find this practice. That is determination. Yeah. Yeah. See, I have quoted from various religious books. Christian Christ says, Guru Nanak says, Muslims also chant repeatedly Allah's names. You'll find Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, people chant. Many mantras are there. We chant Hare Krishna mantra. But many businessmen also chant. You see Rishikesh Mafatlal, and this is Henry Ford's grandson. He is also chanting. This is Seema Bulb's owner. They are all chanting Hare Krishna. You will see that. So Srila Prabhupada went to the West in 1965. And there he went to the park and he was beating the mridanga and singing this Hare Krishna mantra. You know that? And all the hippies who were into all kinds of bad habits, smoking, drinking, drugs, illicit sex, everything, they gave up all the bad habits and became completely pure and saintly. So hippies became happies by chanting the Mahamantra. This is a real life example you can see. Long before Narada delivered one, Valmiki, or Buddha delivered one, Angulimal, but Prabhupada delivered hundreds of hippies. They all became completely pure in habits. So burn away your bad habits by chanting this mantra. Man means mind, tra means freedom. The mantra will help you become free from all bad habits. Yeah. Okay, and then last one is dependence through prayers. Actually, we all are tiny, and God is great. Just like Arjuna is small, but Krishna is infinite. Is God. So when Arjuna combined hands with Krishna, 1 plus infinity is infinity. Then he could do great things. Hanuman also, when he went to search for Sita, he climbed the mountain of Mahendra Parvat and he prayed to Lord Ram, he prayed to Vayu, he prayed to Surya Dev, his guru. And then see what happens when you offer prayer, the blessings comes upon you. You say, no, prayers go up, blessing comes down. Then you become like ordinary man becomes a Superman by this dependence on prayer. Last one is de-addiction. Means don't repress, but replace. Replace bad habits by good habits. For example, we may sing, like I told you, rock music, and that disturbs our biological rhythm. But we sing Hare Krishna music, which is done in a very beautiful classical tunes. All over the world, nowadays you go to YouTube, you will find so many Hare Krishna music done and people singing all over the world. Even Westerners sing very beautifully with instruments. So that means every one of your sense can be used in a positive way that enhances your body, mind and soul. Rather than, instead of eating foods which are harmful to your body, put things into your body which will be healthy for you. I'll show you some examples. For example, I told you A for association, B for books of wisdom, and C for chanting, and D for diet. Sattvic food nourishes creativity, calmness and clear thinking. See? Passionate foods are called Rajasic foods. They lead to adrenaline secretion and they induce violence and fear, as I told you. This type of foods. On the other hand, here he says it leads to burning of the tongue, and next day while passing stool also it burns. But if you see Sattvic Ahar, leads to calm, clear and creative thinking. It keeps the mind calm. They are juicy, fatty. Basically vegetables, fruits, milk, cereals, all these things are Sattvic Ahar. So this is Krishna Prasadam plate. In a typical ISKCON temple, very, very nice items are offered. So by eating this, your thinking process. Why I am showing this? Ahara Shuddhau, Sattva Shuddhau, Dhruva Smriti, Smriti Lambe, Granthi, Nam, Vipramoksha. Shastra say that everything begins with the thought. And when you eat the food, it becomes 3 parts. One part becomes stool and urine. Another part becomes blood circulated all over the body. And the third part is something which goes to your consciousness, thinking. If I eat prasadam, then my thinking is pure. If I eat food cooked by a businessman in a hotel, then I also become business-like. If he is selfish, I become selfish also. So therefore, this is one thing that makes our thought pure. And even the elephant is vegetarian, you know that? Why I am showing you elephant here? Because some people think that vegetarian food will make you weak. But elephant, is it a weak animal or a strong animal? Yeah, it's a large, strong, and gentle animal. He's vegetarian too. So knowing alone is not enough. We must apply. And even willing is not enough. We must do it. So know it first and be willing to adopt the good habits in life and then act. Do not stop acting. Thank you. So if you have questions, you are welcome to write to me here, voicemedia.pune@gmail.com. And in this YouTube channel, Radheshyam Devotional Videos, as soon as you go inside, you will find behavioral science for youth. There are more than 90 lectures similar to this. You will find right at the beginning. So you can either ask me one or two questions, or you can recollect some good points that you remember today. Anybody? What is one point that really hit you hard that you're going to carry with you today? You can say that. You have the mic with you? Yeah, who has the mic with you? Yeah. They can share one point, what they liked or what they remembered. Don't feel shy. See, tomorrow you all are going to be becoming a CEO in a company, or you'll be an entrepreneur. Correct, now? Yeah. One point from the class, what you liked, or one example you remembered, anything. Huh? I told you about the chariot of the body. Huh? Then I told you about the mind. Then I told you about the habits. Anything that you remember. Yeah. If you raise the hand, mic will come to you. Where is the mic? Who has the mic with you? Yeah, please give them. Somebody behind is saying a point softly. You give them, they will speak in the mic. Yeah, please give it to him. You can stand up in your place. Everybody will give applause to him. Yeah. Yes.
I like the points about the self-awareness.
About?
Self-awareness.
So what did you catch specifically about self-awareness? About observing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Observation behavior.
Yeah. So he's saying about how if you observe yourself, you can also write down in a paper, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what are my good habits, what are bad habits. And then you have a scope to modify. That I think I told in the thinking, I told.
Yes,
So one aspect of thinking is self-awareness. Do you remember the other one? Second one for thinking? Modify our thinking.
Modify.
One
Keep
is
it
to...
on action.
Huh?
Keeping it on action.
That comes in the behavior. The thinking, positive thoughts.
Yes.
Positive means, yes, I have a habit of gossiping, but tomorrow onwards, I will stop gossiping. At least for 1 week, I will not gossip. You make a vow and you stick to it. But negative thinking means, no. If I go to my friend circle, they will all drag me to drink. They will drag me to gossip. And that means one is not confident, and not confident people will never do anything. Therefore, good thinking means observe yourself and make a plan and stick to the plan. Okay? Thank you. Give him an applause. He was the first one to be bold enough to get up and put up a point. Anybody would like to put another point? Yeah. Here is a prize for those who answer. Very good. Anybody else? Okay, who can tell me what is the chariot of the body analogy given in Kathopanishad? I showed you the picture of chariot and horses and rope and driver and passenger. Anybody remembers? You have to say who is. Oh, he remembers. Please give him the mic.
Soul, intelligence, mind, senses.
Correct. So soul is who? Intelligence is who?
Soul
Mind
is the who sit on the back.
passenger. Correct.
And the driver is the mind.
Intelligence.
Intelligence, sorry. And the horse is mind sensors.
Horses are the five senses.
Senses.
And the ropes are the
Mind.
mind. Yeah. Very good. Give him applause. Good. What's your good name? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna answered it. Very good. So this is how I expected. It was very good. So then I told you an example of, a computer operator and, servo motor and all that I was telling you. CPU and hard disk and all that. You remember that? Anybody? Why I gave that example? Because you are all engineering students. You will understand that even more better. So I gave that. Microprocessor. So based on that, anything you thought you understood? Or microprocessor and servo motors. Which are servo motors in our body and which is microprocessor? And what did I say about that? Anybody remembers that? Microprocessor is a computer. Yeah.
Microprocessors was the mind,
Yes.
and the servo motors were our hands and legs.
Correct. Senses.
Yes.
Hands, legs, genital, sectum, speech. 5 karmendriyas.
Yes.
Yeah, correct. So, yes, you're right.
Yes.
The understanding is correct. And then what did I say further about, and therefore
We
microprocessor
are
is mind.
the soul is the controller. The person
Correct.
who is using the
Soul is
controller.
the operator of the microprocessor. So, whatever he puts, I was
Ah.
telling, what did I say about that?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Your understanding is perfect. So, like if I put something here, accordingly, servo motors will act. I
Yeah,
said.
the servo motor should act according to what the soul says.
What the soul
Inputs.
grasps in the mind. That means I told one formula, I remember. If you put,
Formula.
good program here,
Then good program will come.
microprocessor, if you put right good
If
program
input
here,
is right, then input is good, then output will also be good.
output will be good also. And if the input is bad,
Then output will be bad.
hands, legs will do wrong things. Correct, no? Like you can see in your college also, some boys, some of the boys, they are using their hands, legs, everything for a right purpose. Some are using for wrong purpose, correct, no? Why? Because the microprocessor is filled with accordingly vibrations, impressions, correct, no? Gigo, I told you. What is gigo? Good in, good out. Garbage in, garbage out. Very good. Give him applause, very good. He got the answer. What's your good name? Shaunak. Shaunak Das answered it very well. Thank you. So these are the things I told about the mind. So in the mind, there are 3 things I told you. Unfulfilled desires, previous experiences, and thoughts. So anybody remembers 4 type of thoughts I said, which are in the mind? 4 type of thoughts. Anybody remembers? In that I told you 2 we want to keep, 2 we want to kick out. Huh? You remember that? Where is the mic? Who has the mic with you? You raise the hand, mic will come to you. Huh? Okay.
Positive, negative, waste.
Yeah, you are right.
Last one.
So in that, which one we should keep?
Necessaries.
Necessary. Necessary or routine thoughts. Out of these 4, which one we should keep, which one we should reject?
Necessary and waste should be thrown out, and positive and
Necessary and?
necessary and positive should be taken.
Yes.
Negative and the waste should be thrown out.
Very good. Give him applause. Very good. You are right. Yeah, perfect. What's your name? Chellam. Very good. He recollected beautifully. So he told about the thoughts, and then he told about the desires and about previous experiences. So our mind is like a hard disk where we have stored many things, many good, bad things are there, and they impel our hands and legs to act accordingly. Like I told you, these are 5 senses they supply to the mind. Therefore, the mind has to be cleaned up, impure things. So 5 Ds I told you, how the bad habits can be given up. Let us see who remembers at least few. 5 Ds I told you. You remember? Any of the Ds you remember? Okay, I will tell you the D and you can tell the solution. Discrimination. How do we get discrimination? Discrimination means what is beneficial, what is harmful, what is good, what is bad. So that is how do we know? How do we discriminate? Because we are all walking in this world. Who will tell us what is right, what is wrong, what to do, what not to do? How will we know? Anybody?
Our intelligence.
You're right. So our intelligence, how we can make our intelligence strong and stout, because the driver of the chariot should be stout and strong. So what do you supply to the intelligence to make him get viveka buddhi and get very strong? Mazboot. How can you make him strong? You are right. Intelligence is supposed to supply, but intelligence also needs inputs.
Yes.
And that input will come from where? Your part of the answer is right.
Our soul should think about it, and our intelligence will implement the action that we have to take.
Actually, our intelligence is the driver of the chariot. Surely. Huh? So the driver of the chariot, if he has to become healthy, what food should he eat? Because we all eat some food to become
Pleasant
strong.
food.
Pleasant?
Food that digests it and takes the input.
Yeah. Actually, the intelligence gets stronger by studying Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
From scriptures we get, like Chanakyaniti, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita. These things teach us the right map, we can say, or the right road. Still, because you said intelligence will give you a prize. Where is the prize? You have more prizes? He said intelligence, he said. Intelligence is the one that is used for Viveka Buddhi. Correct. Give him applause. Yeah. And how does our determination come? Determination. Huh? That's one of the D's. Determination to accept the good and reject the bad. And keep the positive thoughts and necessary thoughts and leave the negative thoughts. Where does the determination come from? Anybody knows? Yeah? Yeah, we have to replace the bad by good. That is true. But the ability, the willpower or the determination, where does it come from? I told you,
Good environment.
actually, living in good environment, you get good disciplines. Like for example, in good association of nice people, you develop good habits. But determination comes from where?
Chanting, sir.
Chanting. Give him applause. Very good. Very good. Correct. So, yeah, very good. So I told you, if you remember, like in a airport, in an airport room, I said there was a Christian, there was a Muslim, and I was sitting, all of us were chanting, the mantra. Every religion says that if you chant, you get the inner strength. Why is to say no to the dirty things. You get the strength, determination comes. So you all recollect a good amount of things. Very kind of you for staying for so long and taking part in this seminar.